And hi, everybody. Welcome to the Old Cranky Man Collectibles YouTube channel. And today we've got some sweet, sweet Canadian Highlander gameplay to watch. So, at the top of your screen, you have Stefan playing Big Boros. So that's you, my friend.
Hey, wouldn't you know, actually play the format?
And at the bottom of your screen is Ryan playing Death and Taxes.
What a
So,
good friend.
uh, dude, his points in this list are Mana Crypt, Mox Pearl, and Umazawa's Jite.
Wiggling our hands at you, letting
Just
you know who's who.
just making sure that we can see you. What are you on this list?
I believe my points are Mox. Uh,
Soul Ring. And
yeah.
and tell me what exactly is Big Boros trying to do here?
We are accelerating with artifact mana and then doing a lot of planeswalker things. I think in this build I had 20 planeswalkers.
20 planeswalkers.
20 planeswalkers.
That is a non-zero amount of planeswalkers. It looks like Ryan Mulligan to 6, and
Yep.
you're getting things started off here with a planes.
Very nice planes. I love that planes. That's an this box unsanctioned planes. I bought that box just for those basics. Ryan also likewise playing a planes. Show off. I have the fancier planes.
Those are pretty gorgeous. First on the board here with a Giver of Runes,
Coming on out.
Step Mommy.
Just the mom. What did I play? What was that? I passed.
Get that out of the way before it can do any nonsense.
It's difficult to interact with if I wasn't on more than one color. It's sort of I do have a lot of artifact interaction in this deck. It's like a cave, one of the Den of the Bugbear. That's
Yeah, that's a Den of the Bugbear, I think.
yeah. I should know this deck. I've played it a lot. And
This deck is very, very sweet because it comes at a very weird angle.
yeah, there's a
Um,
Mind Stone.
should I spill the beans or should
No,
we
no,
wait for
no.
it to happen?
Let's wait. Let's wait. This is uh I thoroughly enjoy this deck because of the surprise factor. It sort of only works, like the fun of it only works for people that aren't expecting it. The fun is for me. Finite amount of fun to be had in any Magic the Gathering game. Ryan kind of looking through here. As I recall, we sort of took our time with this game. We were on draw. We got a Mutavault coming out. This is sort of your classic death attacks. Do we know what his points were?
Mox Pearl and that was Jite.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we got a Shadow Spear coming out. Yeah, this. I think his deck also functions sort of in a faster. Those sort of facilitate the better nut draws. A Guardian of Thraben.
Yeah, Thalia
Kind of
Guardian
looking
of
to
Thraben
tax.
is going to do a lot against your deck. Because it's almost all non-creature spells.
Let's not get. It's a lot of planeswalkers, and planeswalkers are non-creatures, but there, there's a lot of opportunities for me to remove Thalia. It's just whether or not I want to consider her a threat more than anything.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure in one of these games I do get up to like Uh,
Have a very very heavy top end in there. So
yeah.
like you go as far up as like Elspeth Sun's Champion is in there, right?
Yep. Yeah.
What are and planeswalkers that are in there?
The 6 mana Chandra that makes the 3/1s with haste. Spoilers, I don't have this token. It's $10. I drew my own.
Does anybody have this token?
Uh, I always think that Josh does, but it's just a printout that he made.
Nobody has this token.
Yeah, I did pay 4 mana for it through the Thalia there.
I
I've seen it at Mayhem.
That's part of the
And
fun. That's part of the fun. You just get to
yeah,
do what you want. Make your own token.
it's so they have one at Mayhem. It is inside the case, and it is I think $12.
But the reason for that is because when they print a card that makes a token, and that card is the only card that makes that token, and that card is also a rare. It makes
Yeah.
the token rare.
Yep. It's so weird how they do that. There is another token that I sort of had trouble getting, and that was the knight that Tyler Walpole did the arc for in Dominaria.
It's like a stained glass
I eventually opened one and I had him sign it.
kind of thing. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, magic artist Tyler Walpole, a native of Des Moines, the same town that we both reside in.
So Ryan kind of dealing some damage to himself here with that ancient tomb, but doing more damage to me.
Yeah, yeah, he got on board with that Shadow Spear, hooked it up to the Thalia, animated that Mutavault, and he is in the red zone.
In life, if he's expending all of his resources attacking, like if he's expending his resources equipping and animating, sort of kind of, I've got a Boros. I discarded.
You're going up to chapter 2 in the saga.
Yeah, I pitched the Signet playing an Urza Saga card. Very good. Now I've got 2 sagas in play. 2 very good sagas in play. That token, try to make some additional.
Take you up to 6 mana, the treasure token from this Goblin
Yeah.
Shaman token attacking.
It
And
does indeed.
we're really getting in the area where we can start to see some Hail Marys.
Yeah, the threshold of this deck is 4. I've got some 3 mana planeswalkers, but 4 is where, and that's a transmogrify. And then I'm gonna get the token, and I'm just gonna flip until I find a creature off the top.
Token's gonna go away.
Yeah, I'm flipping until I find a creature. So let's see what kind of creature we find here. So we're just gonna flip. We're just gonna flip until we find a creature.
We didn't even have to wait very long.
Oh, that's so weird.
There's the spaghetti mom herself, Emrakul the Aeon's Torn.
That's such a weird. A lot of these transmogrify effects function differently. Some put them on the bottom, some shuffle. Let's quickly examine the pile there. That's the secret of Big Boros. Big Boros has a big mama.
Yeah, so you're basically leveraging a deck that is probably a third removal, a third planeswalkers, and then you've got a smattering of these transmogrify effects that can go find your Emrakul, and it's just kind of a kill switch.
Accurate, yeah, and that's not like the main function of the deck is to ramp into planeswalker. That is the way that the deck functions. Just being able to oops into an Emrakul is a hack.
Absolutely.
Ryan sort of staring down the barrel of an Emrakul here, playing a. Emrakul has Annihilator 6, so if she gets to go to combat, I basically take out every permanent on his board. So he's sort of looking for something that can deal with it. Notably, she only has protection from colored spells. Brutal Cathar, not a spell on its ETB trigger.
Yep.
So Brutal Cathar is going to come in and actually take Emrakul.
Yeah, incredible. Emrakul is one of the, I think. Did the other two original Eldrazi Titans both have indestructible?
No.
I think the original Ulamog does have indestructible.
Does it? Okay.
I think so,
both Ulamogs have indestructible, actually.
Talk about miserable things that you have to keep track of. You play one card that introduces that mechanic, and you don't need to track it for the rest of the game, but for some reason you do.
Brutal Cathar, absolutely worth it though. The card has some aggressive play patterns that can O-ring multiple things.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's when it enters the battlefield and transforms.
Mm-hmm. So the play patterns are generally such that Ryan will draw a card on one turn, not play a spell, just activate his Mutavault or equip spells. He'll double spell, and then it'll flip back to day, and he'll take another one of my things. And until I get rid of it, get a kill spell, there's not much I can do. Which isn't to say I'm in a bad position here. I've got a flipped Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I've got Saga. I've got a decent chunk of mana. Obviously, the Fable is at its weakest place right now.
Looks like you're going to animate Den of the Bugbear here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that. I don't remember what I had in my hand, but I think I was just looking for things to do. But I could have activated Urza Saga, made a 3/3 token.
This Boros deck, it has so much going on. I can only imagine the decision trees that you have to subject yourself to.
I think I'm just daring him to block. Like, I'll trade off my land for your for your Brutal Cathar thing.
Appreciate all of the subtle synergy that you have in here, though. You got like the Den of the Bugbear, very unassuming manland. Well, it makes tokens that you can transmogrify and turn into Emrakul.
Yeah, sure. He's
showing off his proxy method there. How he, on those transform cards, he has them. They're both stuck together, and he folds it in half. So his proxy actually transforms.
His proxy is very good quality. I think he just wants to play so many decks that he'll proxy everything just to try them out. Right now, he's been on a burn kick, but this deck is also sort of aggressive and good.
We are a very proxy-friendly group. There's no reason why somebody should be priced out of a format just because reserved list cards, and even in this case, non-reserved list cards, some people don't have the wherewithal to be able to, build multiple decks. So there's no reason why somebody shouldn't be able to sit down with us and play a game and have some fun.
I mean, look at that Urza Saga, right? Not reserved list. It's what, $40 now? This booster pack that you gave me.
Passing the time. There's a selfless spirit, or is that a remorseful cleric? That's a remorseful cleric.
Yeah, I think he's got a remorseful cleric there. He can empty my bin. He's probably just gonna flush my. If he can sack it to flush my graveyard, and he's gonna come at me with a bunch of stuff.
You're under quite a bit of pressure here. I'm curious what this Urza Saga can find for you.
There's a couple really good hits. Notably, I run Skull Clamp, and like you said, there's a lot of token generators. He's gonna flip and steal my. Like I said, the double spell is sort of, and now I look like I'm dead on board here.
Yeah, you see you there on the end step, cracking that Mind Stone. Try to get something off the top of your deck.
Yeah, and then I'm going to crack this. Honestly, I think I just get a Soul Ring. So some of the hits are just the fast mana. Like, And now I remember this. I'm really struggling with what I can do here because I have uh, I'm counting my mana because he's got a um, Thalia in play.
Right.
I'm gonna float a mana.
You have a Chandra. Is it Flame Caller? The
Yeah,
six
it's the
mana
6 mana.
Chandra.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna float a mana. I'm gonna get a Soul Ring, just enough mana to cast it. Because like part of me was like, how do I get enough mana to cast this? What 1 mana artifact can I get? And I was like, oh yeah, the one that costs the most points in my deck.
So you see Chandra Flamecaller on the screen. There is she's a 6 mana planeswalker originally from Gate Crash or Oath of the Gatewatch.
Mm-hmm.
She comes down with 4 loyalty. You can +1 her to make 2/3/1 red elemental tokens with haste. They get exiled at the beginning of the end step.
Very good token maker.
You can also 0 her to discard the cards in your hand and draw that many +1.
Very good if Emrakul gets stuck in your hand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because then would shuffle back in your deck, and you can use your transmogrify effects to get her back out on the battlefield. But the -X is what we're looking to do here, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So there's the Soul Ring. That -X is such a so both of my 6 mana planeswalkers have a board wipe function.
Yep. The Elspeth Sun's Champion can destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chandra right here, she's going to do her best Pyroclasm impression. -X, she'll deal X damage to each creature.
Yep. So I'm going to tap for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Thalia attacks, and then we're going to -2 it to wipe out his board. That one has protection from red, so I can't destroy that because the damage is prevented. He's gonna flush my bin with Remorseful Cleric, which is fine. That's gonna go away. We still have to track day and night for some reason. I get my Fable of the token. Emrakul the Aeon's Torn.
Wow, what a backbreaker that Chandra was. That's absurd.
Yeah. When I was saying that the heart of the deck is Planeswalkers, it is absolutely Planeswalkers. Chandra just happened, or not Chandra, but Emrakul happens to be the kill switch. It could have been anything, right? It could be any big beater. It could be, Ulamog. It could be Titan. It doesn't matter.
It's really hard to come back from an Emrakul though with that Annihilator 6. Curious, have you ever actually cast the Emrakul?
No.
I mean, you've got the Soul Ring, you've got double Mox. Are you playing the Soul Lands? City of Traders and Ancient Tomb, are you playing those?
Yeah. Ancient Tomb, yes. City of Traders, no. I'm not looking to accelerate that fast. I just want to go to bigger mana.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying it seems totally possible in a really long game.
The most I've ever gotten to was hard casting the backside of the Mythic MDFC.
I forget what that card is called. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I believe it's 8 mana.
Wow.
So now I'm.
So Emrakul is going to attack.
I don't get to attack now because it's.
Right. No, we're going back to his turn, but I'm just trying to do the math real quick. So, assuming Chandra pluses, we've got 21 power, which is enough for lethal.
Yeah, he does have 1 blocker.
He's going to have to sacrifice 6 permanents. So he could, in theory, animate one of those man lands and then sacrifice everything else. And that would give him the 2 blockers.
Yeah.
Between the man land and the Sanctifier.
Yeah.
So he'll take 15, but without a way to kill that Emrakul.
I am at 3 here. So all he has to do is have 1 attacker with that Shadow Spear.
Oh, yeah, because that provides the trample for it.
Yeah. Blocking things now. I'm kind of picking blockers. He's sort of forcing me to...
So he has... So Ryan has a propensity to kind of talk out the board. So I think what's actually happening there is you two are talking about what his options are.
Yeah, because he needs to get 3 damage through, and the current board state can only get 2. So I have 2 blockers. I've got the token and the Emrakul.
So obviously you're gonna block the biggest 2, but that goblin token only has 2 toughness. So you'll have to block. Yeah, you'll have to block the one that has the Shadow Spear on it with the Emrakul.
Correct, but then it'll die. And he'll lose one of his lands.
Yep, I don't know, without a removal spell for that Shaman token, I don't know, or an Emrakul for that matter, I don't know if he has a way that he can push through 3 damage.
It's sort of looking grim. Weirdly, he's at 21, I'm at 3, and it's looking bad for him. He's going to pump the Beautiful because it is a... So his assembly worker is going to live. The reason I had to block the white creature there is it does have protection from red, so I couldn't block it with the token. And he's going to blow up my...
that's a Lauren of the third path coming down.
It is indeed.
Gonna shatter, or sorry, disenchant your Fable.
Yeah. And... I'm not sure what I had, but Chandra sort of just gets you that extra double bolt.
So absolutely nothing he can do here.
Yeah,
I think
I get to.
You just get this game, right?
Yeah, I just get to make 2. Swing in for 21 and annihilate his entire board.
Wow.
Yeah, it was honestly close. That's the thing. The haymaker at the end sort of makes it look like it's more brutal than it is.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to the last turn either way, right?
It did. Yeah, the fact that Death and Taxes is just so fast.
Yep.
You never count it out.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So to go into game 2 here.
Yeah, the efficiency of Death and Taxes kind of just, makes everything else go away.
Yeah.
Any like your mulliganing is heavily mitigated by how efficient the deck is.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can trust the top of your deck.
Yeah, yep. The racing situation, like what we just saw there, it's mitigated by how efficient the deck is. I mean, like does a top deck say, what does he have besides the Brutal Cathar that can take out that Emrakul? I don't know if he has, like, I'm trying to think of other Oblivion Ring style things. Solitude. He's playing Solitude. A top deck Solitude there, I think.
Or
just gets him right back in the game.
He does have Solitude. I believe he has Council's Judgment. Council's Judgment doesn't target. So you can still exile with Council's Judgment. A card that I also run in my deck, and becomes that line of text becomes relevant later.
Council's Judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, being an old school Legacy player, I love that card.
It's still very good.
That it should not be able to deal with.
Yeah. Not targeting is a big deal. And it's one of those cards that was sort of designed for Commander, and it was designed for multiplayer rather. On the draw this time. Let's see how well my deck treats me. Nicely, and I think we've kind of talked about this. The deck has changed recently, where we're adding additional creatures.
Oh yeah. So this, I think we've recorded this like almost a month ago, right?
Yeah.
So after this event, you retooled it a little bit.
Yeah. still broken apart right now, but it's definitely in the RoboCop mode.
Just
Or the
started kind of theory crafting maybe a little bit something else where it's not just, the Emrakul. You're adding other
yeah.
things like I forget what are you adding to it?
I think we've settled on black as the third color.
Okay, so you're
And
gonna get Archon of Cruelty.
right. Things that do things right away
Yeah.
is sort of what we're looking for. And then there's just some sort of sweet reanimator targets in Mardu. There's the new Krasa and Kyranos in March of the Machine that looks absolutely brutal.
Yeah, that card is absurd.
There's the Elder Dragon from Modern Horizons, Pier something, that if you don't pay its upkeep cost, it dies and blows up the board with it.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
What all? What all does it destroy?
It's called Piru.
That PIR or
I believe it's PYRU. No, that is not it. Oh my gosh. You'd think that I would know.
yeah, there it is. It's on the screen now. It's PIRU.
Yeah, Piru the Volatile. Yeah, so it's a 7/7 flying lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack it unless you pay Mardu. And when it dies, deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature. So basically, it's a board wipe on a body.
So Ryan coming out of the gates hot. On turn 1, he has a Caracas, and he casts an Aether Vial. A Mox Pearl gets a Steel Shaper's Gift.
Karak is sort of the card that this deck struggles with a lot because full legendary. But again, it's why it's sort of the backup plan.
Yep.
If we
Planeswalkers plan A, Emrakul plan B.
Yeah. And some graveyard hate.
So he picks up a Lion Sash. That's going to go to hand.
Yeah. From
And
yeah,
I mean, Living Weapon was a thing a long time ago, so you used to be able to get a Batter Skull off of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody ever did that, but
I don't think so. Steel Shaper's Gift has always only done degenerate things. Gotten you a Colossal Hammer.
let's play a Mountain and pass the turn.
Yeah, not as fast this turn. Would have loved a Soul Ring as an opener. Soul Ring sort of bridges a gap there. If you're on the draw,
Yeah, it steals the tempo back from your opponent.
Yeah, now we're having a discussion about comp play. And I'm begging the audience that if you're in a comp setting and your opponent draws a card and asks if they can put a counter on, say no. Say no. If they've drawn their card, they have additional information. It is a functionally different board state. If you're having a fun, friendly game, that's fine. But if you're in a comp setting, you respectfully decline that. And that's, yeah, I have opinions about this.
Yeah, you are giving him the dad treatment right now.
It's in my blood.
I can see in your gesturing that you are scolding him vehemently.
Ryan is such a good guy, and he's like one of the younger guys in our group too. I think you and I kind of, I don't know if we do it intentionally, but we definitely see right now. Listen up, you're gonna have a lesson from us.
Hi, day.
Oh, God, GT's out too. Woof. Not as good against my deck because I don't run as many creatures, but it's still quite good.
I don't think GT's ever really bad.
Mm-mm. Just the pump mode alone on it is enough to take down games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just off to the world plateau. They have more things than I do.
Well, like you had said before, your curve is kind of really centered around the 4-drop slot. So I don't think this is bad. This is kind of right where you want to be, right? You've got land drop into mana rock.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have 4 mana at the start of your third turn. In spite of him being ahead on the board currently, I'm not counting you out of this just yet.
Yeah, if I can get to 4 mana quickly, then I get to start dropping, your Gideon Alexander and that's a very good one.
Yeah, that's a new addition to the deck, huh? Comet?
Yeah.
So I have cast the goodest boy in the multiverse a couple times, and the only thing that he's ever done for me is make squirrel tokens.
That's all he needs to do. He makes. I think he invested some mana in the graveyard. He was going to equip the.
That's another thing about this board state. Like, he has a lot of really good, sort of problematic permanents out there, but what he doesn't have is a creature.
Yeah, he has fewer cards in hand too. I think I've got 4 or 5 in hand. Deck mostly, and I'm gonna. That card.
I love an HP card.
Oh God, same. The front, like the top, has a ding in it, and it's not a new printing; it's an original printing, and it's in terrible shape. It does produce snow mana. 2 mana rocks are so invaluable, especially ones that can produce colored mana.
With your land drop on the next turn, you've got 6 mana, and you can start throwing down those haymakers.
Would love if that happened. I don't remember exactly what happens here. I do know that I'm terrified of I've got a fetch land, and I'm waiting for Ryan to tap down his mana so that he.
For the Aven Mind Sensor?
Correct.
Yeah.
I try to be aware of the Mind Sensor.
I don't ever play around it. Those cards get me every time. What's funny is I will play around a Stifle or a Daze all day long, but I never think about Aven Mind Sensor. I never think about Hull Breacher. I never think about Opposition Agent.
I recently Hull Breachered someone in response to their Seasoned Pyromancer.
Oh, cool. Discard 2 cards. That's all.
Yeah. Discard 2 cards. Your opponent makes 2 treasure tokens.
So we've got a Dauntless Bodyguard here. It looks like he's going to suit that up.
Yeah, he names nothing. It has no friends. See if he can get anything on board. I'm sort of stalled out here because of the Caracas. I think I have a Transmogrify effect in hand.
Right, but it would just be a waste of your resources at this point.
Unfortunately,
so
it's sort of
you are on Wasteland Strip Mine, correct?
Not Strip Mine, just Wasteland.
Oh, okay. You do not have the Strip Mine, so
no, my points don't extend into Strip Mine.
Wildfire. I know you're not running Armageddon anymore.
No Wildfire effects. No Burning of Zingier.
So, what ways do you have to kill that Caracas or deal with it other than Wasteland? Anything?
Wasteland is the best one. I believe Council's Judgment takes care of.
Yep.
A permanent.
So the game, the plan here is to just ignore it, right? You're just going to play Planeswalkers and try to win the game
exactly.
that way.
I'm not worried about it right now. It's sort of stifling one of my plans, but it.
Like a jerk.
would you like to copy my chain lightning? He says no. I am sad. I would love to chain lightning his dome again.
So chain lightning can
And a
you
Fable
can you can
Mirror
target your own battle with it, and then you can copy it.
Breaker. The question, can you?
Yeah, you can. Target battle with chain lightning, and then you can copy your own chain lightning.
See, now that is a whole bag of cats. I do that. I do that all day. You obviously have to invest a little bit of mana into that, but it's just a single card, and you're going to get to.
I love it. You know, anytime anytime they try something new,
Yeah.
I just love it. They, you know, the R&D team really doing a great job these last couple of years trying new things. Some of them have panned out, some of them have not.
Companions.
But I just appreciate the effort more than anything. They're
Yeah.
trying to make the game better
And more fun. Like, just open it up.
Yeah, just come out with, you know, weird, interesting new ideas. Elite Spellbinder gonna come down.
Taking something out of my hand.
PVDDR.
PVDDR, hand attack. White has hand attack now. And I've got a 3-mana Chandra and a Transmogrify effect. It's the one with Retrace.
So,
sort of been stuck in my hand from the beginning.
Speaking of white having hand attack, there is a 2-mana battle that does the same thing Elite Spellbinder does.
Yeah, I actually really love that for whites.
I think it's one of like in a vacuum, I think it's one of the best battles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because it does a relevant thing that white normally doesn't do. I think up until this point, white has only relied on black with things like Tidehollow Sculler as ways to strip out cards.
Yeah, going back to, you know, really navigating the drawing board as far as new things are concerned. They've done a lot to try to beef up the things that white can do inside of its color pie. And a lot of the answers that they've come up with, I think, have been fantastic. Like this, for example, you know, they have the ability to interact with the hands, but instead of just making you discard it, put it in your graveyard, they're exiling it and making it cost more.
Yeah, it's a tax effect.
And it fits perfectly into white.
I agree. And like the new counter spell in the Lord of the Rings set, you know, Remand Plus.
Right, yeah.
Very good. So I'm gonna make a couple 1/1 tokens here. Just swing in.
What called? I can't remember.
Acolyte of Flame, or
Yep, she's Chandra, Acolyte of Flame.
that's right. Okay. Very good. Very good card. You can zero her to put loyalty counters on all your planeswalkers.
And you have, as you said, 20 of them in your deck.
Yeah, it does only do the red planeswalkers.
So Elite Spellbinder going to get in the red zone here. It looks like Chandra's going to take 3 damage, go down to 1 loyalty. Jit's going to get a couple counters.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
I mean, going back to that, the card's never bad. You know, it's not as good as it would be against, say, your Elves deck, but still very, very powerful card.
Counting up some mana here. So at this point, I'm gonna talk about a misplay that I'm gonna do, and I'm a little. So I'm gonna create some tokens. I'm gonna go to attacks. I'm gonna see if you'll kill anything or if I get to.
Okay.
If it's not, I'm gonna make a treasure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire off this Transmogrify effect from exile.
Okay.
Is
it in your graveyard right now?
It's in exile. It's the one that the PVDDR took.
Oh, okay.
It just costs extra mana. I'm counting up my mana to see if I can do it.
So, continue.
In my mind, I'm going to do it on an artifact and hopefully flip into a stronger artifact. Not considering the fact that I have a planeswalker in play that is not very powerful.
So this is like what? Okay. So this is not just a transmogrify. It destroys a non-land permanent.
Correct.
And then you flip until you hit a non-land permanent that shares a type with that.
Correct.
So we could have turned this Chandra into another planeswalker, is what you're saying.
We could have turned it into something absolute. And I remember seeing the 6-mana Gideon.
What? Oh wow! Flipping. What is that card called? The retrace card?
Oh, it's from one of the commander sets. But it lets you run Gamble as a 1-mana demonic tutor in this.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
It was one of the big includes that.
That
I was excited.
It's 5 mana, right?
4 mana. I had to pay extra. Reality Scramble is the name of the card.
Okay, Reality Scramble. So you destroyed your treasure token, and that got turned into a soul ring.
Correct. And then I lost my Chandra anyway. What I should have done was activated Chandra, attacked, or to the Reality Scramble. It only puts it on the bottom of the library, so I wouldn't have been sacked her. She would have just gone away, and I would have flipped into a 6-mana Gideon, or 5-mana Gideon.
Gideon Jura, the original.
Yeah, the original Gideon Jura.
Love that guy.
Very good. Like as I was flipping, I saw it, and I'm like, I should have. Why didn't I do Chandra? And I just tilted out like crazy from here.
Sure. Understandable.
And what's even cooler is with the Reality Scramble at having retrace. Having a Planeswalker in play, I could activate Planeswalkers every turn, then Reality Scramble that Planeswalker into another Planeswalker.
And get another Planeswalker activation out of it.
Yeah. And so there was a way for me to get a board wipe, which I needed desperately, but I totally...
So that card that he just played there is
the kicker creature from the Innistrad set.
Cemetery. Help me out here.
Not a cemetery. It's the one that has the like champion.
Yeah, I know what it does. I just can't think of what it's called. So it looks like you activate that Mishra's factory. And then Reality Scramble it away?
Yeah, although I should have just hit a land.
No, you got a Smuggler's Copter off of it.
Yeah, but if it hits anything that shares a type with it, so...
Oh, so what you're saying is you should have got that Plains instead of the Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll chalk that up to the full tilt.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit in this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, again, the decision trees and the weird interactions in this Boros deck are kind of a lot to process, right?
That card is Intrepid Adversary, by the way.
Adversary. That's the cycle I was trying to think of. Yes, Adversary.
Yeah. I really struggled after I tilted off, and I don't think I drew anything for the rest of the game. I'm not able to make a token to,
it's a fiery confluence.
It is. I'm wiping his board now, as much as I can. Although he has the pump from. Oh, so this is a misplay of Ryan's side. He pumps a creature that it's not equipped to.
Oh, yeah, Jit can only pump itself. Pump the creature it's equipped to.
We both had some misplays.
Oh, that's fine. You'll have that.
And I'm just.
I mean,
stupid
it's a casual game anyway, so we're gonna
Yeah.
get a game 3 here.
Like, it was one of those things that right after the game, I was like, and I could have reality, like every land draw from there was just a new planeswalker. Planeswalker activations every turn.
So
You're
something like that. It's like if you've never done that in a game before, it can be hard to see it.
Yeah,
So
I had never.
I'm gonna throw back to that time where I activated a loyal retainers for the first time.
Oh, right.
I knew what the card did, but I had never actually read it, so I
Yeah.
didn't know that you could only activate it in the first main phase before combat.
Got to be pre-combat.
Yep, and I went to do it, post combat, and I was playing against you, and you pointed out like, okay, well, we should probably read our cards, but
Yeah, we backed up a little bit there.
If you've never done, if you've never reality scrambled a planeswalker before, that kind of line can be kind of hard to see, especially when you're right in the middle of playing a game. So. For next time, now and when you see that, I'm sure, or when you have the opportunity to do that, I'm sure that
I'd love to.
you'll weigh that option against the others.
I'll take it. And Reality Scramble, I think, is just such a powerful card in general. If they spend all their resources attacking a planeswalker down, and then scramble it into something huge.
I think you're talking about your Tempest tattoo.
Oh yeah. I love that thing. It's that was my first Magic set.
The little tattoos are my favorite ones too.
Yeah.
They're so easy and cheap. Like when I got my knuckles tattooed, I was like, man, I wish I had like 20 more fingers. I want to keep doing this over and over and over again.
And they're really quick. You don't have to sit for long.
Right.
I think we're figuring out some mulligans here. Ryan pitching, liking that 7.
I can just fast forward this.
Man, if only life were like that. You could just fast forward through the mulligans. Man, that pro tour that we had where you get to fast forward.
It was great, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
So good.
Just jump to the next game. Go to game 2, 30 seconds later. Game 2 starts.
So, Ryan on a mulligan to 6 here. You're on the play. Going to start off with a Plains and a Skull Clamp.
Skull Clamp, very good in this deck. Lots of 1/1s.
Yeah, it's another one of those like really subtle synergies that you have in there. All of these planeswalkers making 1/1 tokens that you can feed into a Transmogrify and also just draw a ton of cards with a Skull Clamp.
Yep, exactly. And it goes to show that you don't need that Transmogrify.
Scooter.
Yeah, not a great card in this deck as it turns out. I was sort of unimpressed with it today or on this deck. Poking my opponent's lands.
So I mean, it seems on the surface like it would be okay, because it draws, it discards, it can get that Emrakul out of your hand. It's also a 3-power attacker in the air that only takes 1 power to crew. But without a little bit of help from your deck, I can see why it's kind of just sitting there. But on this board state, if the Clamp isn't doing anything, the Copter probably also isn't doing anything. Yeah. But, I mean, next turn, if you play that 3-mana Chandra, you start making 1/1s. On the following turn, you can crew the Copter, get in there, and then you can start drawing cards with the Skull Clamp off the tokens. So, I mean, I could see situations where that just creates some really explosive situations.
Ryan's getting has played a Recruiter of the Guard. He's getting a Solitude.
So just in case you Emrakul him,
Yeah,
is that the idea?
yeah, and this is sort of the preemptive solitude, and like I know it's in hand, so it's I sort of get to play around it a bit.
Sure.
Um, there's also, and I'll talk about it later, but there's a point in this game where I may have played around it too much, so that's solitude there. So he's showing me the solitude. It is in fact a solitude. 3/2 with lifelink and flash that you can evoke. So let's see. Gonna play
Hang
a
on,
flooded
we got to
strand.
pause again.
That's fine.
We already made plans. Already made.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
So this lets you pull psychic energy out of your graveyard.
What?
That build
You
lets you pull the psychic energy onto your Lunatones.
So you will have to get that stuff from her at
So
another time.
flowers. Erica, I can buy myself flowers. Okay.
You know, man.
Write my name in the sand.
BB.
That's untrue. I do need a man. He's right here.
Okay, we're going again.
Okay. All right. So flooded strand down. Ryan's finishing up the Great Shuffle. I don't know that I have any token generators in hand.
So going back to the kind of mana threshold thing that we were talking about before, you kind of took turns 1 and 2 off to commit the clamp and the smuggler's copter, so you didn't get that extra push of mana. But you see here on turn 3, after your land drop, you play the Boros talisman.
Ryan,
I have never won a mana crypt flip in my life.
very difficult to do.
So
you gotta do it right.
On the next turn with a land drop, you will be up to 5 mana.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is. I forget what I had in hand here. But I'm definitely, knowing there's a solitude in hand, I'm off.
Are you showing off what you opened in that pack?
Yeah.
Was it the mimic? Is that what that was, or was
it was a mimic, and something else. I don't know. It was nothing like fantastic. I remember that I was excited to give it to Balin.
That set has some pretty good cards in it. It's got the dragon cycle.
Yeah, Old Knowbones.
Which, yeah, the green dragon is worth a sizable chunk of change. It also has the manland cycle in it.
Yeah.
Which are also all decent pulls.
Uh-huh.
And then it has a number of uncommons, which are unusually worth like $2 or $3. Moonbless Cleric.
Yeah, and there's also a common that was very expensive up until recently that let you sacrifice a creature or an artifact to draw 2 cards and make a treasure.
Oh yeah, Deadly Dispute.
Yeah.
Is Deadly Dispute in that set?
I believe so. It was either in that set or in the...
I don't know what set Deadly Dispute was printed in.
It was...
Spirit of the Labyrinth coming down on Ryan's side, so no additional cards for you.
Wasn't planning on it, thanks. Deadly Dispute was an AFR. Yeah. both of the D&D sets. At this point, I'm just figuring out my life. I'm not sure what I played there.
You just cracked that flooded strand and found a sacred foundry.
So now I'm going to my turn. I have a very particular to how I have my deck. I'm a left-hand deck kind of guy.
Because you're a left-handed player.
I'm a right-handed player, actually.
But you're left-handed.
I'm right-handed.
I thought.
Oh, I just play left-handed.
I thought left-handed this whole time because it's always backwards.
No, I'm sort of ambidextrous. I've juggled for a long time, and I'm blowing up.
What is this fiery confluence doing here? A second time this card has come up. Love that signature spellbook Chandra.
Yeah, I'm dealing two, and blowing up.
I really love. Okay, so this, you know what this particular art treatment reminds me of? It's something that I like a lot. It reminds me of the color shifted cards from Future Sight.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
So it's got that negative space sort of thing going on where all of the normal coloration on the border is reversed.
Yep.
And then it has that flame motif. My what is the 4-mana Chandra? Torch of Defiance. My Chandra Torch of Defiances are from this this Chandra spellbook thing. And
Same.
oh man, I just love it. They're so cool.
I bought that set just because I wanted every card in it. So now we've got protection from red, protection from black. And
yep, the Sanctifier coming down there, going to exile that fiery confluence from your graveyard.
That card's very good. I think even if you're...
I would prefer a Core Firewalker, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But I think that the Core Sanctifier, what is it called? Sanctifier Ilkor?
Invec.
Sanctifier Invec. Very, very good against the graveyard decks.
You see, the N and the IL are designated different types of ownership into tribes. IL were removed and N were included. And the Core and the Vec were two separate tribes.
Wow. TIL.
Yeah, this is some Tempest lore that you're learning today.
Oh, we're going back to Tempest.
Yeah, the IL Core, the IL Vec, the N Core, and the N Vec. And then there's the Sultan.
Those guys have fear, right?
They have Shadow.
Shadow. I love me a Soltari.
Oh yeah.
Those dudes with no nose. They all look like Voldemort.
Yeah.
I look like Voldemort every time I see one of them. I'm like, it's Voldemort. Sorry, I said his name. I'm not supposed to do that.
More than once. So now Ryan's just kind of working on rebuilding. Got another card down. Got a third land back. I think he was sort of banking on that mana crypt to generate some additional mana for him.
You blew it up with the fiery confluence. You shattered it.
Yeah, it's pulling stuff out of the glare there.
As of tomorrow, the glare will no longer be a problem in these recording sessions. We have a whole tent covering the feature match area.
Bless up. So at this point, I've got 5 mana actually. So my deck's sort of online. I'm got 3 mana on tap in here. I'm gonna channel an Iganjo.
I love those lands so much. You see Boseiju all the time. You see Otawara quite a bit. I recently have channeled a Takanuma about 1,000 times.
Ooh, I love that card.
Oh man, it feels good.
Lets you mill and rebuy.
Yeah. So I channeled a Takanuma, put a Atraxa into my graveyard, and returned a Jewel Thief to my hand. And then I cast the Jewel Thief and made a treasure, and then I cast a Reanimate and made Atraxa, and I was hooked on Takanuma after that.
Yeah. I've been running it in Pattern Rector for a while. It doesn't go in every deck, but if you're in a dedicated graveyard deck that cares about the creatures like the quality of the creatures in the deck, Like you don't care about it in Dredge because that sort of has its own, recurrence portion. And Reanimator, I think there's absolutely a place for it.
Where you're looking for specific, silver bullets or synergy pieces, things like that. It's really good against decks that have a lot of removal in them. You can rebuy those key creatures out of your graveyard.
I agree.
So here we see the reality scramble again this time on the Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah, and I know there's a Solitude, so I'm trying to get some amount of value off of
Yeah.
state sort of
I'm curious what's in your hand. Do you have a hand?
I don't think so.
So you're just playing off the top of your deck, basically.
I think I have like one card in hand or something, but I was pretty dead. Like I didn't have any good draws here. My deck wasn't feeding me anything interesting. I was just I had spent a lot of resources to and try to stabilize. And at 17 life, I don't feel a heck of a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But I do want to get.
You can see why, the Smuggler's Copter wasn't really doing very much there. You didn't really have any follow-up for it, nothing to fuel it. And the Mind Stone in this situation is probably better. It gives you one more mana. You can also just draw a card right here.
Yeah. Ryan forgot to pay for the boast. He has a boast that makes a 1/1 human.
That's not okay. So the Spirit of the Labyrinth died. Oh, that is the.
Yeah, he paid for it. Okay.
I can't remember what that card is called. So when it attacks, you can pay 2 and it makes a 1/1.
You could pay 2 anytime after it attacks to make the 1/1.
Yeah.
So boast allows you to pay that ability anytime after the creature's been declared an attacker. So here I've got the 6 mana Chandra, and I'm gonna be able to wipe his board out now.
Chandra Flamecaller, you'll remember from game 1, powerful 6 mana Planeswalker. She's a Wheel of Fortune, she's a Wrath, and she is also 6 power with haste.
Yeah, and at this I'm just wiping his board real quick.
Yep, and it was real easy, right? Just for the low price of 1 loyalty.
Yeah, it was -1, so she's at 3 now. But my opponent has nothing on board. And White doesn't have a lot of haste threats and nor does it have a lot of direct damage.
Right. So Chandra's probably pretty safe here.
Yeah, his big out off the top is some sort of like O-ring effect, or I know he's got Solitude in hand.
The brutal Cathar can take care of it. Solitude can come down, but Flash is just haste for blockers.
Yeah. And we've got.
We're gonna introduce the initiative mechanic now. Seasoned Engineer.
This was sort of an interesting call from him because he knows that I have the ability to take the initiative from him with the ability to make those 2/3/1 threats. So I think he's just trying to get as much advantage out of this as possible, and he's comfortable trading it off.
Well, he hasn't made his land drop yet, so he's going to go get a land out of his deck.
Yeah.
Probably play that land, which will give him the ability to cycle that Sunbaked Canyon.
Yeah, he's looking for some amount of action. And we could talk about it at the end again, but he does show me at the end that his hand is literally filled with creature removal. And I have a Flame Slash.
Yeah, and the creature removal not doing very much here. So Flame Slash going to take out the Seasoned Engineer. Chandra probably going to go up, get in for 6 damage, which is going to take the initiative. And it is, with just 6 life points left, it's going to be pretty hard for him to claw his way back into this game. It would feel very bad at this point, to have to spend a Solitude just to kill a token that's going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Things probably not looking very good for Ryan here.
No, and this is where those higher. once, like, if the game hasn't ended by the time you deploy them, and there's no real, you can easily take over the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
when you play
now
one,
I get to skull clamp those.
yeah, and fill your hand back up. So that skull clamp that you played so many turns ago on turn 1 is finally gonna do something.
Which the cost of having it in play was just, and here's another Chandra.
Yeah, Chandra Acolyte of Flame gonna come down. Make more 1/1s with haste.
No, it's just gonna take up and add more loyalty.
Okay.
We're past combat here, so
this is in your second main phase.
Yeah. And
so
now
you're
I'm drawing
clamping
4
2
cards.
tokens. Gonna draw 4 cards. Wow, that's gross.
And I have the initiative, so I'm gonna end my turn with the initiative. Next turn.
So you'll have to scry.
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable scrying. Honestly, so he's showing me now all of his creature removal.
Doesn't Brutal Cathar exile any non-land permanent?
Nope, just creature. It's not an O-ring. And I have a Blood Moon.
Brutal Cathar. Hold on. Oh, it is target creature.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was any non-land permanent.
No, it's a Fiend Hunter. It's not an O-ring.
Oh, so we got a concession here from Ryan.
Yeah, I pretty much had it there. He could have dropped something, and we sort of talked about, playing those creature removal creatures just as a way. It was difficult.
Wow.
We got there in the end. We didn't even need the Emrakul.
What a game.
Good match. Good
All
match.
right, awesome. Well, done so already. Please subscribe to the Old Cranky Man Collectibles YouTube channel. Make sure you turn that notification button on so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Love you.